loving what I'm becoming. Would likely be get like me in the hallway. Long way from the lunchroom and crush groove. Through my struggle bubble like hot fluid.
Last name?
Dabney.
Okay, Dabney. That's what I'm doing. Okay.
Like that.
All right. Okay, all right. All right. Welcome. Y'all know who it is. It's your guy, Big PJR.
Spain like the country.
And this is the Informal Podcast. That's right. And y'all see we got a special guest in the building today. Y'all probably seen this face because she's familiar. She's not new to the platform. She was actually a part of one of our on-site interviews. We got the privilege again to be at the RBA Music Fest. Shout out to Jasmine Brand for that connection. And as you can see, we're continuously building on those relationships.
Yes.
So we definitely wanted to give the sister the platform because she should have been on here on season 3, but it's all good. Like Keith like to say, it's not our time.
God time.
Every
time.
That's just how it works around here.
That's right.
With us. So in case y'all don't know who it is, we have the lovely owner of Wictionary, Tiffany Dabney. How you doing this evening, sister?
Welcome.
Hey, thank y'all so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Yes. And we love that you made it. Keith sent her the wrong address, so she's a few minutes late. But it's all good, man. It's all good, man. It's a team. But we here.
For sure.
We here. But yeah, we just want to give a quick little backstory on how we met the sister. She killed it. We met her at the RBA Music Fest, and so it was a pitch competition.
Yes.
The winner had the privilege of winning $500, which when we talked to all of them before and after the pitch, everybody was on the same mindset with, I could use that $500, and you could feel the nerves. Even to the point when we was interviewing the sister, they was about to start announcing. She was like, "All right, look, I gotta go," and she killed it. I killed it to the point where she won. So she was the winner. She won the $500. First and foremost, what was that experience like for you?
It was really awesome. One thing's for certain and two things is for sure. I have no problem at all talking. My mom said from a child I've always had the gift of gab.
There you go.
And so being in front of people, talking, all of those things truly do come natural to me.
Okay.
And I think having an education background, being an educator, being in front of kids, the students are always nervous the first week of school, first day of school, but we share the same jitters, right? Because it's a whole new 200 kids that I'm getting ready to come into contact with, 200 new attitudes. And so taking all of that experience and being able to just really come and be my most authentic self in that space and truly talk about what it is that I love, and that's education and ensuring that everybody has access an opportunity to that, right? And so there's the Wictionary, right? The sense that makes sense.
Tune in to Culture Mix Radio, Saturdays at 12 p.m. Powered by K101.2 Pop, Richmond.
Why did it come so natural to you? Because I get it, you was like that as a child, but was it reading? Was it exposure? Was your parents teachers and educators?
So no, I have great parents.
You're cool.
Awesome parents, right? I like to give them a shout out because
shout out to the parents.
Shout out to good parents.
You and me right now.
No, for sure, right? And to be able to be in a household where my parents have been married for 30 plus years, and to see how they communicate, right? Communication has always been extremely important to me. And so to see how my parents have been able to communicate with each other and to find understanding has been very pivotal for me, right? Because within that, and I was just having this conversation with someone, the things in which you learn as a child, right? Those learned experiences, those are the things that really carry with you, right? They really shape and make who you are to become, how you are to interact with the world, how you are to interact with people, all of those things.
All of that.
And so when I see an opportunity to present something that I'm passionate about, I'm not gonna play around with it, right?
That make a lot of sense.
Whatever it is, right? When I see that there is opportunity to present something, to really shed light on something, especially considering we're Black.
Come on now.
Right? And when we talk about education and when we talk about Black students, the only time for real that we see Black students really excelling in the public education sector is disciplinary infractions.
That's true.
That is
Very true.
That's what the data
Facts.
shows, right? Data doesn't lie. The numbers don't lie. So when we talk about suspensions, when we talk about, all of the derogatory things,
Yep.
it's always geared towards our black kids,
Yes.
right? The positivity, where is it? And so you do find pockets of positive things, but why not really create something that can be truly positive in every aspect of it, right? One of the things that this does is when you have verbiage, right? Vernacular, vocabulary,
Right.
Yes.
you can go do this.
Yeah.
And you don't have no problem.
Exactly.
Right? Why is it so easy for me to go and talk to people? Because God equipped me first.
Come on, man.
My parents equipped me second. And then third, I went and got the knowledge, right? So I made sure through all of the journeys and experiences and things in life that I was always self-equipped, right? From the Most
Love
High,
that.
from my parents.
I love that.
To then go out and present what it is that I have to offer.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
So in coming up with all this in you, because that's a lot. That's strong. That's like backbone building. right
Yeah.
there.
It's a foundation of the
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a great foundation. So what led you to, and that's getting into your brand and stuff like that, what led you to come up with the idea for the brand?
So by trade, I have a biology degree. So I have a biology degree with a minor in chemistry,
Come on.
right?
We gotta clap for the educated citizens in the room. Just real quick, we gotta let it be known
This
that
young black
we out
this
here
young black
smart, man.
queen says she had a,
We out here
say
smart.
it again. Say it again.
So I have a degree in biology with a minor in chemistry and Spanish, and I speak Spanish fluently and several other languages proficiently. And so because language means so much to me and culture, right? Those two things really mean a lot to me. So COVID hits. I'm teaching, but I'm doing the virtual teaching thing, right? And I come from a lineage of entrepreneurs. My grandfather owned a construction company. My dad owned a trucking company. Then he took over my grandfather's construction
That's
company.
right.
On my mom's side, her
Generational
dad
wealth.
was a forester. So
Okay.
I've always been around strong people, right? Who knew that business was really the way to really kind of set yourself apart. And I think growing up it's easy to get complacent with the status quo. The idea that you go to
Comfortable.
college, right? You get a job, you work the job, you retire from the
Make good
job.
money, you retire.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Like on paper, right? Like just making sure that everything looks good on paper. When we talk about like the African American and Black community, the tradition, right, is that, right? The trajectory has always been based off of the hard work that our ancestors have put in. We're almost doing them a disservice to not follow in the footsteps in which they work so
Yeah,
hard
yeah.
for, right? But the backside to that, though, is that you can pigeonhole yourself, right? Because you can begin to think that, damn, I have to be doing this. I have to be doing this one thing because the other thing is too scary. And because we're not equipped with the financial literacy, with the financial power,
Right.
with the know-how,
Knowledge.
what we're centered around for real, for the most part, when we think about like our families, and again, great families, but there's a lot of fear in the unknown.
And
Yes,
the
it
actual
is.
tools. We don't know there's a ton of tools to get stuff done.
We have no idea,
idea.
right?
Yeah.
No idea whatsoever. And so you find yourself leaning into your friends or your parents or and bouncing off ideas. But when people have only ever hit the ceiling, how can they know that the sky exists?
Exactly. No, you
You know what I'm saying?
hit that right on the.
And
Wow.
so that can create now this like sounded like a good idea in my head as I thought about it and
Yeah.
wrote it down. But after I bounced it off of Keith, and Keith really didn't give me the
Right.
what I
He
needed.
didn't give me the feedback that I
He
wanted.
didn't validate me. And in life, like we're constantly looking to be validated,
I
whether it's
love
with
that
our
you said that.
partners.
No, you're right.
Like we are. Like we're constantly, why do we seek partnership? Why do we seek certain things? Like we seek them for validation. Like oftentimes it really doesn't even have much to do, because we don't typically truly know who we are.
Come on.
Like can we really
Nice.
sit down right here, right now
Come
and
on.
say that I have sat with myself and studied myself in the darkest times, in the moments in which I have contemplated all types of deep, dark things, because the devil is real. And we know that when we're weak, he has no problem seeping
That's when
in,
he's
right?
mad
Putting
on me.
exactly, right? And so in those moments, are we calling on the Most High to guide us and to lead us so that we can then find self-reflection in that to figure out who we are? Oftentimes not, because we're just trying to get through the hurt, the pain.
Right.
We just don't want to feel that no
We
more.
want help for that moment.
You see what I'm
We want to
saying?
cover it up.
We want to
That
band-aid.
fix it.
Yeah. Because to have to really sit with myself,
Come on.
man.
that's difficult.
Mirror talk.
That's
So
what
that-
that's what we call it over here on this platform. We call it real talk. It's the toughest conversation is that one.
Yes.
Because it's easy to point.
For sure.
But when there's nothing to point to,
Yeah. That's the truth.
that is one of the hardest conversations, like you said, specifically for our community, and which leads us into these false relationships
For sure.
based on society standards that they have created and set for us.
And who's society?
And that's what's
Right.
crazy.
That's why.
Because see, that's where I love
right
that
there.
you went with it, right? Because I'm a brother right now who I'm in that journey space, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I speak about this to certain people, they don't know how to receive
For
it.
sure.
But because I had that conversation with the Most High and I have that understanding, I get it. So I don't even be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like, no, you would just need to share that with them so they're aware of those things that are happening. They weren't supposed to understand.
Yeah.
So keep moving.
Yeah.
But that's how it happened anyway, because you're gonna know first. He's gonna tell you first before anyone else knows anyway. So when it happens, you already know, oh, that was supposed to happen like that.
And you've
I
already
am supposed to be right here.
and you already set with yourself, so you
Right.
process.
Yeah.
Because we talk about this all the time about the reason we don't process, we jump to emotion first because that's our first thing
Yes.
we know.
Yes.
That's human
We don't
reaction.
know to
Yes.
intellectually dissect the situation.
Because how many people are actually shedding light on emotional intelligence?
They're not.
Right? It's not a real thing.
It's a current trend now.
Sure, and trend, right? And even with trends, we have to still be very careful because trends are very, very surface level, right?
Yes.
Because it can't be a trend. Like, as I work with young boys, I have a program out of Henrico County Public Schools called Becoming Kings.
I love that.
It's dope, right?
Love
And
that.
like, we have grown like tremendously. Those boys, like, to see where they came from and to see that a lot of them are about to graduate and go on to do different things, but their growth, like, mentally, and like just the conversations, the raw, pure conversations that we're able to have,
Right.
it's like, okay, I know for actual and factual that my purpose in this space, right? Because even through those spaces, I'm teaching them vocabulary.
Of course.
You see what I'm saying? We talking about what's your propensity. Miss Dabney, what does that mean? Let me use it in a sentence and
Let's
then
go.
let's use
Let's
the
go.
context
So use
clues,
the
right?
context clues.
You see what I'm saying? Like, let's begin to learn that way, because once we can kind of put those pieces together, everything else in life is really just how you critically think through things,
Right.
how you process them, taking a moment to sit back. Because oftentimes, when you have an answer that's fast, see what I'm saying? Sometimes you're going fast, but you ain't going nowhere.
Spending time.
You're just spinning tires. But in those fast answers can lie a lot, right? Because you're trying to be quick.
They
Yeah, you
premeditated.
just
That's
trying
all.
to-
That's
Right, because, and you know why? All of this is a part of a lived experience, right? When I am answering a question quickly, or when I am, giving no thought to it, it is because internally I have already thought about all the potential things that you could ask me. And so now I'm just trying to spit off the answer because I'm trying to hurry up and do what it is that I'm going to do. That could come from, maybe I had a parent that chastised me. Maybe I had a teacher that didn't really accept me or validate me.
Right.
So now I'm just trying to say whatever I can,
Yep.
right, to move around,
Yep.
right? That plays in your emotional intelligence. When you don't have high emotional intelligence, you'll do something like that. As you begin to grow as a person, and we've all been there, right? Like, and even when your emotional intelligence hits an apex, you still have the propensity to make a blooper. Because it's 24 hours in a day, and there's no way we can be right in 24 hours.
No,
Same thing. We can't be
There's
right
no
all
way.
24 hours.
No, 24.
We're going to be wrong or make a blooper at least once throughout the day.
Right.
Yep.
And so I think when you look at it that way and you take the idea of perfection out of all of your experiences, Brene Brown has a book, The Gift of Imperfection.
Okay.
Phenomenal book, right?
Okay.
And she really employs people to really dig deep and to really consider, maybe you're not sharing some of your secrets, or maybe you're not having the most honest, reflective conversation because you're still dealing with a lot of shame and embarrassment and guilt right within yourself. And so when you really kind of sit back and think about that, like, dang, how do I transcend the shame, guilt, and embarrassment? Well, you have to talk about it. Right? Yeah. You have to, again, raise your awareness, your emotional intelligence. So through all of that, right, and just kind of, again, through life experiences and all of the things, comes the Wictionary, right? My mom, I call her one day, I'm like, Mom, it's COVID. We got to do something. Like, we got to do something for these kids. Like, what we going to do?
It seems like COVID sparked all type of...
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So she's like, well, what you thinking? I'm like, I am going to move forward with making candles. So she's like, all right. I said, but they have to be educational. Like, it has to be like a talking piece. I don't just want a candle. There are a million candle companies out here. Like, we need something that is going to have some kind of social impact. Like, we need to make a change. Like, this isn't about just making a good candle or a good room spray or a good lotion. This is about making something that is going to transform how people think, right? How they see. So she's like, all right, let me think about it. My mom is a genius, right? Like, literally,
shout out to mom again,
right? Like, that's my girl. So she calls me back and she's like, y'all, I done came up with 50 names. Like, I got a computer full of names. I'm just going through, Mom, what you think about this name? This, she's like, nah, that's not it. She's like, the Wictionary. Then she says, the sense that makes sense. I said, oh yeah.
Wait a minute.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo, shout out Mom Dukes, man.
Over the fence, she went. That one. See what I'm saying? Yes. And literally,
flex bomb.
Hey, like,
what?
She said,
we gonna get some applause for Mom Dukes for that one. Shout out to Mom Dukes. That's what I'm talking about.
That's
No,
good.
Man, see, we love those stories because it entangles your growth, but your family.
oh yes.
Right? Your experiences, but a goal and a purpose. So look, we're gonna come right back with the Informal Podcast with the sister Tiffany Dabney. Y'all know how to do it. We'll be right back. Are you in need of a luxury transportation service? Look no further. Book your experience today with Track Transportation. That's tracktransportation.com. And come experience our party bus, Rolls Royce fleet, Porsche, and Mercedes. Come ride in style. Book your experience today. Track Transportation at tracktransportation.com. All right. It's Big PJR.
Explain like the country.
And this is the
Informal
Podcast. And we live at the Culture Mix studio. Shout out the team over there at Culture Mix Radio over K101.2 The Pop. Check us out over there every Saturday. You know who we is. But we here with the lovely sister, Tiffany Dabney from Wictionary Candles. How you doing, sister?
I'm so great.
Oh man, look,
Blessed and highly favored.
I know that's right. I can tell. It's radiating off you. Before we left off, the sister talked about how she came up with the name, or how Mom Dukes.
Yes, we got to give her.
Mom Dukes to the alley. Shout out Mom Dukes. So so when you got the name, I'm sure you was like, you just knew.
I did. I really did.
What was the next step? Because I'm sure you was like, let's get this ball
rolling. Okay, let's get this thing going. So I'm like, Mom, how, like,
yeah, where did it come from?
Where you put this from?
Right, like, what in the world? Well, she goes, well, I mean, it's simple, right? So you know how parents do. Like, when they know they did some real fly.
Yeah.
Like, it's real fly, and they like, girl,
That's how I do.
Right. You know, that's what I do. Right. Like, it's like, all right, come on now. So she's right, exactly. So she goes, I mean, it's quite simple, like wick, from the candles, like the wick. And I mean, dictionary, because you want to use words. Like, we talked, and I gave her the whole rundown as to like how I wanted to name the candles. I wanted to use words not commonly used in the dictionary, right, to expand people's vocabulary. So she had all of this background knowledge, and I'm talking about, y'all, I mean, literally maybe an hour. I call her very quick. Like, for me, I'm taking days thinking of a name, and then
you got at least 50 on it, so that took time. You ain't just write 50 down in a day.
I call her, and she got it
Like that.
Like that. I'm like, wow. But the name was so perfect.
Yeah.
No, that
Like, so perfect. So she gives me the name, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can't even just sit on this name because
yeah.
this. Have y'all ever had that moment where you just know that the gift that you've been given is really getting ready to take you to your precipice?
Mom Deuce probably was sitting,
Right.
like, thinking about it and like, let's just do this.
It's so crazy, Keith, though, because the truth is this, right? If we really sat and thought about the things that God gives us,
Yes.
right? Especially when it's a thought.
Yes.
Because when it's a thought, so she gave me the name. All right. I called my lawyer. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to trademark this name. Y'all, I haven't done nothing. Okay?
Right.
Like 0 things.
Not
But-
one
You ain't
thing.
even got the license or nothing.
Not
But
8
But you
things.
trademarking it though.
But I done called the lawyer.
That's right.
Hey, look, I feel like this name is gonna be. This is gonna take me over. I need to get this trademark. He like, okay, well, schedule an appointment. Get the appointment. I go to his office. We go over everything, and you know when you're trademarking something, it can be slightly suggestive, but it can't do this. It can't do this. Right? It can do all of these things, but it can't all at the same time.
Yeah.
I give him the name. He's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Cool. Files my paperwork. In the meantime, in the between time, now I'm going, right, I do the whole business license, get all of that stuff done out the way. That's
Which don't
quick.
take no time.
Right,
folks, so stop-
please, and stop
please
paying people to do that,
Come on,
okay?
man.
I understand that there are people out here that are trying to make
We talking to you on this
but
one.
for real though.
Please.
Seriously, it's $50 to file.
If you don't even know how to do Google
Look,
it.
it's
You be
free.
better off
Yes.
Googling
Do
it.
that.
Because it's cheap. It's not what you don't pay people $300-$400
it's
to get you no
ridiculous.
license. Please don't. But go ahead.
But we not trying to stop nobody hustle,
Hey,
okay? That.
Everybody needs to do something, right? Hey, ain't that
Hey, whatever. Just yeah. And so boom, I get all of that stuff straight, and y'all, I make my first candle. Boo boo. Hey, it was so foul, y'all. Hey,
No.
hey, my first candles was so foul. I was so proud. Like when I tell y'all so proud though,
It's all good.
I was just so happy that I had did it. I had ordered all of this stuff.
Right.
Like, I just knew I was like, because, you know, I'm like, okay. I was a little overzealous. Like, I'm a biology major. Like, I'm a scientist. Like, I've taught science for 8-9 years. Like,
Right.
I know how to do this. I made candles before.
Yeah.
Like, I know what I'm doing. Y'all, them candles was burnt. They was smoking up. My daddy is so sweet. I had a space in his warehouse. He owns a construction company, as I told you guys. So I had a little space in his warehouse where he used to let me make my candles at.
See, ain't that dope?
God is again the
Shout out
greatest.
Pops,
Yes, for making space for me,
Yeah.
right? To allow me to be able to do those things, because a lot of people don't have
Yes.
that leniency, right? And so I'm
Or
just
they
thankful.
smoking up their house or their backyard
Just
or their apartment.
Right. So y'all, I lit them first camp. But the scent throw was good. So I had the scent throw right. I just didn't have my measurements right. So I said, okay.
All right, hold on. Before
Yes.
we go, scent throw. Explain.
For those of you who don't know, let me give a little candle terminology. So when we talk about scent throw, there are
we
two.
dipping into the Wictionary now,
Yes.
y'all. Pay attention.
We trying to educate y'all.
Catch it
That's why it's
now.
called educate.
All right, because
Come on.
it's going fast. Now look, so scent throw consists of two different things. You have a cold throw and you have a hot throw, right? So your cold throw, when you're at Target or when you're at a store and you get a Wictionary candle and you pop the top, right, with no heat, no anything, that's your cold throw. So typically the way that it works is, like, there are a ton of different waxes that you can use. So you have coconut, you have soy, you have hybrid waxes, which is a coconut soy, a soy paraffin, a paraffin wax. A lot of your mass-produced candles are going to be paraffin wax, right,
Okay.
which is a byproduct of crude oil.
Okay.
So it doesn't.
Come on now. Educate the people.
A
that
lot
don't
of
know.
people feel like that wax is not as sustainable, one, because it's a byproduct of crude oil, but it also can burn toxic, right, in your home. We actually use a coconut soy wax, which is a lot more sustainable.
Okay.
It is a wax where if you have an allergy or something of that nature, like, it's not going to affect you. But starting off, I didn't know any better, right? I had no ideation of any of this. So I was using a paraffin wax, which makes sense as to why I was getting so much black smoke, because it's a byproduct of petroleum.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So petrol. So naturally, right? But that's not to say that that's always going to be the case.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But, and it could be like your wick could be too large. There are a ton of reasons as to why your candle burns black, doesn't burn as well, doesn't actually burn to create a complete melt pool, right?
Yep.
A whole bunch of things. But as we're talking about the burning, the actual candle being on fire, right? That burning, that is your hot throw. So when the candle is lit, it is going to emit sometimes a stronger, sometimes a lighter scent. It really just depends on like how you're sourcing your oils and how you're sourcing your waxes. So that's kind of like the science behind that. But there are a lot of different components that go into making a candle, which is why I had to take a class. But yes, and so I took my first candle class, y'all. I'm so hyped. It was up in Maryland. Okay. Y'all, that first candle class, I spent $500 on it. Okay.
Invest in self, the other part.
Very important. Professional development is very important. However, do your research. Because my first candle class was a bust.
Oh, wow.
Major bust. First of all, yes. Like,
trial and error.
Trial and error is important. And again, like, you do your research, right? I wouldn't have known, even if I would have done my research, honestly, for real, like, that this wasn't going to be the right class for me. And no dig to the beautiful queen who taught the class, right? I think that sometimes as people, right, especially in the social media age, we just become overzealous and we just look at everybody as a dollar sign. Some of these classes, for real, let's be real. Like we talking about thousands and thousands of dollars, like $5,000, $6,000, a conference over the weekend, and I'm supposed to have all this knowledge when I leave, and I just got a little take-home bag and I'm lost, and I've spent all this money. I had a good time, but okay,
I enjoyed.
You just like what? So that class didn't work, but it gave me a little bit of knowledge, right? So when I went back, my candles were getting a little better.
Not to the same class.
No.
I figured we learned from that.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
So my next class, I found this lady on Instagram, and I have been following her for a while. Shout out to Shan, CEO Shan at Simply Scented Candles.
Okay.
She will forever. Like, I've always admired her story. I was following her way before I like actually got into candles, but then upon just seeing her story, like how she was an Army veteran, she left that, she took her last paycheck of like a couple $100s and invested in herself and started her candle business, and she has been in business for 12, 15 years, like, and she's doing her thing in Houston. Like, I mean, when I say somebody I truly admire, so a friend of mine, I'm telling them about her, and they like, just reach out to her, like, see if you can pay her to take a class, if she can teach you. And I'm like, man, this lady ain't gonna teach me. Like, she not gonna give me, because I'm thinking about all the people I know that have taken these classes, and they have not given the game up for real. Like, they really haven't been helpful. They just been spending money on these things. So, y'all, I call her, and she picks up the phone. Yes, Shan picked the phone up, and I'm telling her how much I admire her, this, that, and the third.
That's a real one, fam.
Hey, you see what I'm saying? Like, and she goes, actually, I'm getting ready to host a candle class. So I'm like, for real?
Look at that.
So she's out in Houston. So she's like, give me your number. I'm gonna text you the link so you can sign up for the class. Like, go ahead and submit the payment, blah, 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 blah. Man, she sent me that. I did it the same day. I got set up. I have a few friends who live out in Houston. I flew out to Houston for the weekend. I took the class. Best investment.
Come on, man.
I'm talking about the best investment. Through her, I have been able to really grow my business, grow professionally, grow my art, right? Grow my creativity. She gave me the real background, right? She gave me that real backbone. With what she gave me, I could then go out and be like, all right, bet. Like, she taught me this, and this. Cool. I know how to make this work now. So we went live October 21st
Okay.
of 2022.
Okay.
We went live.
So you're a little over 2 years.
Yes, a little bit over 2 years. And I was suffering from imposter syndrome. Right. And so ironically enough, through this whole journey, I was overcoming depression.
Okay.
I was overcoming something all the way up until, like, literally more recently, for real, just to keep it a bean, right?
Yeah.
But through it all, y'all, like on my like worst days where things just seem so bleak, but God. And that's all I can really like tell y'all. Like, there were days where I really was like, I know who I am. I'm not showing up like I know that I'm supposed to show up. What is going on? Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I launched October 21st, 2022. And it ain't start getting good. Meaning I didn't start to remember or to realize or to be thankful, right, for who I was until probably like a little bit before meeting y'all. Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I didn't do my first pop-up because I like had worked so hard and I really felt like I had a good product. But I'm like, who's really gonna buy from me? Who's gonna support me? Who's right? I'm having, but it's nothing but the devil, right?
Yep.
Nothing but Satan trying to get me off my square or to make me think that.
Detour.
You see what I'm saying? But the truth is this: God gave me this. This wasn't anything that I just literally, I didn't like, no, he literally gave me this. And I know that he gave it to me because it's nice where I can't go to sleep because all I can think about is the forward progression. It's nice that I can't go to sleep because all I'm doing is in my head, like I can see all of my wheels are just turning. And you know what that is? That's because I didn't have faith. I didn't trust the process. So that's why I can't go to sleep. That's why I got insomnia. That's why I'm up all night, because I'm not doing my part. See, God gave me the vision. He gave me the tools, but he said you gotta work.
You gotta
Gotta work.
Oh,
You gotta work.
we always say that.
You see what I'm saying? Ain't nothing, you have to work.
We can give you all the information and knowledge, all the good quotes and sayings, and you still got to do
He
the work.
said, what good is the faith without the work?
I did not start doing markets and things until April of 2023.
Wow.
From the inception of starting my online business until about April, I had the worst imposter syndrome. Like, it was so bad. I struggled so bad with showing up for myself. Right? Like I did. And then something just clicked. And I was like, dog, if you don't show up for yourself, who is? Like, what are you doing? So I did my first pop-up over at
Who's gonna do it better than you?
oh, you see what I'm saying? My first pop-up I did over at the Diamond.
Okay.
Shout out to Pop-Up RVA. Yes, Brian, right? I love Brian. Is an awesome guy. He actually has, if anybody's looking for space, please hit up or go to popuprva.com. Brian is awesome. He has space for amazing prices where you can set up and shop and like really get your thing like a real retail store. He has a large space. That's where I got my first shot. And y'all, my first vending event, I did like $600 in sales in like 4 hours. And I was like, hold on. Wait a minute. God, you mean to tell me all this time I just had to show up and be my most authentic, talkative self and sell my... I come from a sales background, y'all. I worked at Nordstrom's
Be you.
for all throughout college.
All these experiences.
All of these experiences to shape where I am today, right?
Yes.
Like, Nordstrom's was nothing but customer service. It was nothing but all of these things.
High-end customer service, too.
So I have all of these tools in my belt.
So you got a standard.
Right.
We get it, right? And so now the question is, how do we disseminate the information? Well, we do it by giving people the one thing nobody can take away from them. What is that? Knowledge.
Knowledge.
The one thing I can give you that nobody can come and take away from you is knowledge.
That's it.
How do we expand the knowledge? We go into the communities.
That's it. Boots on the ground.
We have to. And we go into the community.
Who else gonna do it?
Who else?
Because we understand the community.
You see what I'm saying? And even if we don't understand the community, we have the buy-in.
And we're more relatable in the community. That's
100%.
why a lot of people, and again, I'm not against certain churches and pastors, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's where I'm like, look, when that day comes, when he comes back as
Yes.
he going in the trenches.
Oh, yeah.
He's not going with a suits and ties.
Well, where in the Bible does it say that you see what I'm,
Exactly. Thank you. Where did he?
He was born in the trenches.
Well, you see what I'm saying? That's where he resided. That's where everything took place. And so when we think about this, Carter G. Woodson writes in The Miseducation of the Negro. Right?
One of my favorite books.
Okay,
Oh, I love that
like,
book.
I'm talking about, y'all, that is
Please read that book.
Jammy Jam, please.
There's
Okay? Don't be yourself this.
Another one that spooked us up at the door. That's one of my. Oh Lord. You know, when I meet people that read that.
Y'all. When I was turned on to The Miseducation of the Negro, and to really look at the parallel about, I mean, this book far exceeds its time, right? We're talking about a book that's written in 1913 or something
Literally.
like that. Like, it's 2025, and everything that was written in that book resonates with today.
Applies.
Everything. Like, he specifically talks about the churches and how the church was really put into our community to almost be that saving place where you could go to the church, and if you couldn't go anywhere else, you could go there and you could find love. You could, for young boys, you
Shelter.
could find shelter, how to be a man, right? Because you have people in there teaching these young boys
Skills.
how to. You see what I'm saying? Right.
So none of that's happening now.
We have become a community and a society who has become so entitled
Come on
the handout. And the ideation that we are owed something. Now, don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah. 40 acres and a mule.
I get it. It's 2025. At some point in time, what are we doing?
right.
Everything that we have had as a people has far exceeded anybody's expectations, and that's why they've always had to come with us as something. They had to burn Black Wall Street down, right?
They got to come up with a 10-year game plan. They ahead of us.
But would they be though? Right? Because we have shown so much resilience, so much pertinacity.
Yeah.
Okay, that is one of my words for Black History Month.
And when I say they're ahead of us, meaning they have to think.
Yes.
Because they understand that we're so right now that they're 10 years ahead. We're so, what about next year?
Right. But that wasn't always the case though, right?
Oh no, it was not.
And so that is what happens when you stop believing. When we go to sleep and we have those dreams and those nightmares about our progress, because we stop believing. Because God gave us these things and we're not doing nothing with it, right? That's what happens. When you stop believing, you begin to fall for things. You begin to do things that are so against the grain as to what you know to be right and exact.
Start saying I can try.
Hey, look, y'all. Pastor Dabney could talk all
You know
night.
what? I could, y'all. That's
She's in here. She's in here tonight. But like they said, like we always say, when two or more, that's what we doing here. So it's kind of crazy. We didn't even say join the conversation, but y'all got to tap in and join the conversation, man, because y'all is missing out if y'all have not tapped into the Informal Podcast. But before we wrap up and get the sister out of here, we're going to have her back again. I think we want to bring her back with the kids. We want to tap into your foundation a little bit more and find out more of that. So now that resonates to part 2.
Period.
So we'll be
love to
getting
hear
you
it.
back, and then we might shoot some commercials. We get you back. We make it a full type of day.
Yes.
We can be very productive.
Good, and that's what I want.
And we can get in the studio Saturday.
That was already going.
We can
I'm
get in the
like,
studio
okay,
Saturday or Sunday. That's right. We have full access. This is ours.
I love it.
We pay rent.
Period.
Yes, right. But tell the people out there where they can follow you at and where they can tap into to shop with you, because we definitely want to get that
Yes.
out there.
Okay. So please follow us on Instagram at Wictionary Candles. That is Wick like your candle, Wictionary like the dictionary. candles on Instagram and as well as Facebook. Our Facebook shop is up. I'm super excited, y'all. This was a long, hard thing. I don't know if y'all realize how hard it is to actually set up a shop on Facebook and Instagram, but it is not as easy as people make it
I
seem.
still have not done it.
He won't.
Listen,
I'm like halfway there. I got all green
He's
checks.
been working on it.
I still can't get it going.
it is like it's
crazy.
and then you can't
It's that hard.
then you can't call anybody. There's no phone
It's
number.
nothing.
See, this is why we promote black businesses right here.
Yeah, it's so hard.
Because if you didn't pick up anything from this conversation, if you got an issue with On God, you can reach out to him. I didn't promote my business, Track Transportation, by the way. But if you have any issues, you can contact me. Oh, this sister, right? She was able to break down the ingredients, tell you what's in it. You know, there's some stuff when you go in the store, like Chris Rock said this dumb comment so long, but I don't care. I'm saying it. He literally came out and said, well, I don't know what's in orange juices, but we take... That's your for not reading the back of the orange juice container. Not know what you're putting in your body. But this is gonna tell you what's in the product. I think that is so important because it's bigger than just.
Absolutely.
I'm shopping with a black
Yes,
business, right?
yes.
If I have an issue, I can call.
Yes.
If I'm looking for what's going on with my order, you can reach out to us and we'll let you know. Hey, it's in processing. There's some
Yes.
back stuff, whatever, right? I think that's the other part we need to highlight about
For sure.
being able to shop local or
Yes.
with a black business that you can get in contact with.
Yes.
Because we are going to appreciate your business.
Yes.
We're not going to let your calls go unread or your emails not be.
Yeah, 100%.
We don't respond to you.
Look,
We
I
want you
get
to
it.
keep shopping.
Okay, when I'm looking at the package and I know that I shipped it off 3 days ago and it's still sitting
Keep know.
at the postal service, and I'm like, Lord, I need to send my customers an email to let them know, hey, I am so sorry. Can you here's a discount
Yes,
code on your
come
next
on, man.
order. Like if you
Right.
don't get it within the next few days, I will reship it out. Like it's a real thing for sure.
Trust me, when we first launched the website, we're ordering off there like, yo, Pete, how
Right.
long it took to get here? Like, we spending money when I say
For sure. You have to.
You got to do samples.
You
That's
have
the
to.
side I said. I'm like,
You have
how long
to.
that order took?
Yes.
So now we can tell people 3 to 5 minutes.
Yes.
It's a part of the
That's the
business.
research and development, right?
Facts.
Like that is there are so many steps to go along with it. But yes, follow us on Instagram. Our website is www.thewictionary.com. We are super excited. We do have limited supplies for our Valentine's Day or Love Day, as well as our Black History Month products. So shop up. It was such a pleasure. I really appreciate
Oh,
y'all
thank
so
you
much.
so much.
No, we definitely
Happy
appreciate
tonight.
you for coming back through.
Yes.
And we're gonna have you back again. 'Cause
Absolutely.
I feel like we got so much more
I look
information
forward to it.
learn, and
Yeah, we got to get the words of the day to go.
man, your vocabulary is off the chain, and I'm all about that piece, right? I'm intrigued. I find it interesting.
Me too.
I love interaction.
And nowadays,
Yeah,
it's so far
got to,
between.
gotta have conversation.
Yeah.
So yeah, we want to thank y'all for tapping in with the Informal Podcast here live at the Culture Mix Studio. It's your guy Big PJR,
Spain like the country.
and this is the Informal Podcast. Y'all have a blessed one. Have a great evening.
Peace, kinfolk.
Thank you, sis.